We have.
I'm sensing some in-joke here as well.
No, I'm mad at him.
Why? What did he do?
She's always mad at me for some reason. I don't know.
No, I saw that message before he deleted it.
Hold on, let me check my my daily planner. Why is Ivy mad at me today?
Oh, fuck. He's being sarcastic. Look at him. No, in global chat, like this server chat, he sent a message saying, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna make it today. Laters," and then deleted it before everyone else saw it. I saw it.
Lies and slander.
Shut the fuck up. No, I saw it. I know I don't make these things up. That's why I asked if you were okay, because last week you were rough, and then you made me feel bad, and the other time you did it again. So, I see repetition, you're trying to get under my skin, I saw it, and then you fucker.
Man, that Canadian weed is stronger than the US weed.
Oh, shit.
Oh, goodness.
Fine. Get no part of Ireena this episode, I guess. Look at you. You did it to yourself. Fire get none.
Maybe
Okay,
he
anyway.
got really tired and just decided, fuck it, now I'm going to go for it.
Maybe. Oh, who
We all
knows?
had
Maybe.
that feeling in ourselves. Jesus Christ.
Oh, what he sent me now? Oh, okay. I'll accept that one.
I don't know what the fuck that says, but I like the GIF.
I have no clue what that says either. It is not French. That is all I know.
Oh, alrighty then. Okay. Now that most of us are here, before we get
There we go.
too far. Hey, how you doing, Michael?
Doing good.
Before we get too far into proceedings, I'm going to turn the music down.
And switch the screen.
Well, no, I switch the screen when we start. It's when people log on before the stream begins. I want them to be able to see the slate that is up. So we've got everybody now except James, and James said he's going to be a few minutes late, maybe half an hour, so that's all right. Life happens. Yeah, so we've experienced some growth on multiple platforms.
Oh?
We've had a few more subscribers over on YouTube this week, and a few more people have been following on Twitch. All that is very nice. So, welcome, viewers. Okay, and hey, guess what? Just in time. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Doors of Fear. Welcome, players. Welcome, viewers. I am DM Galabond. This is Thursday night, and that means it must be time for the Sword Coast Chronicles. I am joined in the Discord and on the Roll20 by nearly all of our players. One of our players, James, who plays Mulek, he will be about a half an hour late because, well, life happens.
Well, that means if he's not here, we get to vote him into whatever office we want him to do.
push him. He becomes the one that checks for all the traps.
Yep.
That's what you're getting at. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Okay.
Sacrifice has to be made, and we're calling it now.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we
We'll
knew
just
you
drag
would
him
want to.
along.
We knew you would want to go first, so we just
Yeah.
let you.
You be the living shield. We voted you into that position. Sorry about your character.
All right.
Anyway.
Be that as it may, last time we were here, the party had a big fight against two sets of enemies. There was a vampire spawn and some wights out in the courtyard, and then climbing up the side of the hill on the back of the abbey, there were two more vampire spawn. And there were several werewolves that the party had to deal with. Once they had dispatched those, they learned that the alarm in the town was not because of monsters, but because of Mulek's bag of tricks with his tiger and jackal tearing through the streets of the village. And then the abbot returned and filled in a few gaps for a couple of the PCs about what was going on with his construct that he had built in the that is standing in the kitchen, Veselka, and also why the Lord of this land has an unnatural obsession with somebody that the party has recently met, i.e. Ireena Koliana. I believe that the party decided that they wanted to take a rest here and recover some spells and do those types of things. But I wasn't clear whether we wanted to do a short rest or a long rest. Lunch is being served up at the point, so we'll just say that you guys all have lunch there, and you can be gathered. Basically, you can be gathered over here in the kitchen area, along with Rictavio and Esmeralda and the Abbot, and the others are all over here. And they are having their lunch, and you all can decide what it is you want to do next. Take it away.
Falazure,
Yeah, buddy, what's up?
do you need to recover at all? Like, how you looking with your magics?
I mean, I wouldn't say no to a long rest, if you know what I mean.
I feel you there, brother. I feel you. Probably wouldn't hurt for all of us to get a good night's sleep, after coming to this place.
Yeah, we haven't been sleeping too good since we got here.
Yeah, I think there was a little bump in the night the last time we had a long rest.
And the abbot says, well, there are plenty of rooms, and they are not anything luxurious, but the rooms are clean. The mattresses are free of bed bugs. Yeah.
Sorry.
So you are welcome to stay here in the Abbey if you wish.
It's much appreciated. But Des, I don't think bed bugs are your problem. Wouldn't it be fleas?
Oh, you're very funny.
Well, I'm known to be a funny guy.
Well, you do look like a fungi with spots and greens, gray slime,
Now you're trying to tell jokes.
I'm not very good at it, and I at least acknowledge that.
Everyone will kind of chuckle a bit as these two squawking together, saying, I picked these guys to herself.
I'm right thinking, fungi are delicious. I want to eat some more. I miss them from that place we were in where they had that wine. It was really good.
Can Ray go into a full Forrest Gump mushroom speech? Just
No, he's thinking to himself. He's drunk on the idea of it.
steamed mushrooms. No.
Seed shrooms.
Brad.
Psychedelic mushrooms.
You remember those mushrooms we had at that restaurant, and they were so sautéed, and it was so good. I wonder how my cousin's doing.
As you guys are all, just digging into your lunch, which, lunch here, it's simple fare. There's a lot of vegetables that have been grown in the garden. There is some meat. It looks like chicken. And it looks and tastes like chicken meat. Very, very simple stuff. It's been boiled. And there's some peas and some stuff, and there's a broth that's like a chicken broth that has some vegetables in it, and that appears to be what the two mongrel folk take. They take a large pot of that off towards one of the wings when they are going to go feed all of the residents of this place. And so they, come in and they go out and everything. And during your conversation, Ireena, you hear a voice. It is a voice that calls out, Ireena. There's something familiar about that voice. And it's not a voice you can ever remember hearing before. It's a voice that sounds warm and friendly to you.
So I can't identify, can I hear where it's coming from, or?
You think that it's coming from outside of the Abbey.
Ireena will turn to Tavio and Emerzelda and them and say, is there anyone else that I know here?
And Rictavio and Esmeralda look at each other, and they look at the abbot, and then they all look at you and they say, not to my knowledge. Why? Why do you say that?
She'll kind of stare out towards the abbot way and say, I hear a familiar voice. And she'll kind of nudge her head up and point in that direction.
And Rictavio says, I did not hear a voice. Esmeralda, did you? And Esmeralda says no, and the abbot shakes his head, and then they look at you. And none of you all heard anything other than the conversation that was going on.
Everyone kind of scoffed and say, oh, fine, whatever. Fine, I'll go investigate it myself. She kind of walks.
No, I think we're going to join you on that one, Lars.
Yeah.
But first, I think most of us need just a little sleep. And what better way to have it than here, where at least there's a little something between us and them.
I think if we're gonna
friends, beds, yeah, up and down.
think if we're gonna stay here, we probably need to keep watch on her.
Yeah.
And I say that out loud. I think we need to do rotating watches to make sure she doesn't leave her room. No offense, Ireena. Like I said, if that Lord Strahd is looking for you, Last we need you to do is leave the premises of this abbey without any of us there.
I agree.
Ireena will be listening to them, but she'll be listening out kind of the doorway just to see if that voice will appear again. But she'll stay in the room with everyone just in case.
Okay. You don't hear the voice again, not right away. But you do start thinking, oh, it feels a little claustrophobic in here. Be nice to be out in the fresh air.
And I'll sit there and say, well, I can't rest. Or I want to go out and do something.
Well, I can only throw you in the well with the grout.
Ireena will scoff a bit and think, the person got very scared of a coin. I think if you throw me down there, he might have a heart attack.
Well, it'd still be entertaining.
Well, maybe for you guys, but I might hurt my armor.
I don't.
Just to kind of like tap at her armor and say, I actually really like this. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to go outside, that's fine. One of us will go with you.
Then what are you still sitting there for? Let's go.
I guess
I can walk out with her if she wants to go out.
I had
I
already
can-
gotten up and walked, or kind of done the.
Guess we all do.
We all need a little fresh air.
Maxwell's just coming for me. Look at that.
I think you guys be all right. I'm gonna finish this hot soup and bread and hit the hay, and I'll get up for a watch.
You'll take the first watch, Falazure?
Well, no, I mean I'm gonna get some sleep, and then
Well, yeah,
you wake me up when my watch is ready.
I'll do that. Then I'll take the first watch. But first, let's see what she's up about wanting to do.
So hot and tiny in here. I just need to get out and walk a bit. Let's see if the horses need any food. And then people might need some help around here. It's something to do.
And Esmeralda has a word with Rictavio, and then she comes over and she says, yes, Ireena, I too feel like it would be good to get some fresh air. Would you like to go up on the roof? Maybe we can take a look around. See what is out there.
See if there's any more werewolves or things like that trying to climb the walls. So shooting
Well-
practice, if you may say.
Well, yes, that would be one reason for it, but also from the vantage point of the roof, we can get a better lay of the land, see what is all out and about. If there's someone out there calling for you, we should be able to see them from up there.
And we'll nod her head and she'll wait for someone to lead along so she can come. Apparently she has to be protected.
I holler at Mulik. Mulik, tonight, can you take the first watch with me?
I sure can.
Okay. So we're going to go to the map of the village of Kresk. That includes the Abbey. So you guys are up here. When you go up on the roof and you go out across the parapets, and Ireena, as you kind of scan around, you you feel your gaze pulled towards the northwest. And as you look towards the northwest, your eyes fall on a beautiful pool down below the bluff that the Abbey sits on. It's about 500 feet below where you all are, and it sits on the northern edge of the village of Kresk. And there's a lovely little gazebo out there just on the western edge of that lake or that pond. And your mind's eye, you just think how lovely that little pool looks.
What time of day is it again?
It's early afternoon now.
Okay.
And the rest of you can go ahead and make me perception checks.
And I brought Ferris and Chunk up with us and I commanded them to just stand watch close to Ireena as we went to the top.
Okay.
Ireena will like scooch a little bit over and a little bit over and watch them follow her, and she'll kind of like stare at you but not say anything. But because her eyes are normally fixated on the pond and saying,
Do you want me to do one for Casper as well? Because he's up with us.
Sure.
All right.
swimming could be a little bit of fun. There's not much water around here, is there?
Do I know what usually lurks in water, if anything? In this.
Well, in your experience, in most of the lakes in this valley and most of the streams, you find fish like you would normally expect, and for the most part, they seem to be fairly normal.
Okay.
There are tales that Lake Zarevich, the large, deep mountain lake that sits right north of the town of Valaki. There are rumors and legends that some sort of sea monster dwells in that lake, but you've never seen any evidence of that. All right, so yeah, it just seems very nice. Some of you follow Ireena's gaze, and you look over and you see there's no sun because it's obviously Barovia. It's always cloudy, but the water of that pool just does look nice and cool and dark blue. And, it's rather still. It's not mirror still, but it's for the most part, there's not many ripples on the water there. And when you look around and you don't see any evidence of any hostile creatures coming from the direction of the town or up the side of the hill or any place like that. So it just seems like a fairly quiet afternoon. There's a breeze that's blowing. And it kind of has that. There's a faint odor on it. And some of you, it takes a few moments to realize that the odor you smell is like the odor of an open grave
Ugh.
on the breeze.
Now, is that coming off of the little pond, lake, whatever?
No. The breeze is actually blowing a bit from the south.
Okay.
So it's so there's nothing being carried to your nostrils from the lake.
Okay.
I will kind of plug her nose and say, "Beautiful view, but whew."
Well, that's
Do you
what
take
an
baths
interesting
yet?
smell you discovered.
Actually, does
Yeah.
that's a smell that it still makes you wrinkle your nose every time you smell it, but that's actually not an uncommon odor here in Barovia.
Oh yeah.
There are
Crap.
but you would know that or Des would know that over the time that she or that he's been here, and Ireena for that matter, would have sensed this too in the years that she has been here, that it just every now and then, and it doesn't seem to be when the wind comes from a particular direction, it just seems to happen at random times, day, night, when it's raining, when it's not raining, when it's cloudy, and then again it's always cloudy. Just the breeze will carry like the scent of an open grave, and it just is. After a while, you don't really get used to it because you notice it, but you kind of expect it.
You
After
learn
a
how
while.
to ignore it,
Yeah.
more or less.
But for
Okay.
the rest of you who are fairly new here, it's like, ooh, and you start looking around to see if you can see something that has died, but there's nothing evident.
Des pulls his pipe out and gets a fresh wad of tobacco, sticks it in, kindles a little bit of a spark, so to speak, lights his pipe.
And Esmeralda
leaves.
wrinkle.
Sorry, he leans on the parapet and then just kind of looks out over stuff.
Esmeralda wrinkles her nose until Des lights his pipe, and then she just kind of gives a little smile. And she looks around and she says, "Well, I see nothing out of the ordinary. Tell me, Ireena, do you sense anything in particular up here? Do you still hear that voice?" And you don't.
I haven't heard the voice or anything particular.
And Rictavio says, "The smell of the grave. That smell is something that is ever present here in Barovia. I have not yet learned whether it foretells anything in particular, but I know it means that Strahd's eye is roving. I think perhaps we had better get indoors, lest we draw any unwanted attention."
I had rolled perception also for the black bear and the jackal.
Oh,
Since
okay.
they have advantage. When you mentioned the smell, so I checked their character sheets and they both have strong perception rolls for smell, keen smell. So I don't know if either of them pick up or point towards anything.
Yeah, your jackal will kind of remind you a bit of a bloodhound. It sort of raises its nose up in the air, and it just sort of like turns almost like a weather vane, and then just kind of looks off to the south and east. And I guess it's a little bit more east than south, but still looks off in that direction. And as you think about where you have been, you feel like he's just kind of looking in the direction of the town of Valaki.
Oh. Appears the smell is coming from Valaki. That's what Ferris seems to be picking up that scent from that direction.
That's where the festival's gonna happen and where Strahd's gonna strike, right?
Apparently so.
Uh-huh.
That's
I
would
don't like
be
the
my
sound of
guess, says Rictavio.
Whenever I've smelled this in the past, have I been able to kind of pinpoint a general direction? Does it always seem to be coming from the same place, or is it just move?
No, it's carried on the breeze, but it can be a breeze from any kind of direction, and in times past when it's been particularly strong and you thought, oh, there must be like some dead person or animal somewhere nearby, when you've gone to investigate, you've never found anything that would account for it.
Sure.
And this is not particularly sharp. It's just kind of like a faint scent of an open grave. And Rictavio says, I wonder if they smell it in Valaki, and if they know what it means. I fear it means that our enemies' plans are afoot.
Thank you.
But you all are in no condition to face him now. I would suggest that you all go and get some rest. The Abbot and Esmeralda and I will keep watch on the walls as needed. But I believe we will be safe here as long as the Abbot remains within the walls.
Sounds good to me.
But I'm gonna be able to like, basically describe like her drawnness to the pond, or no?
You can tell them whatever you want to tell them. You can tell them that you feel kind of like drawn towards the pond, or you can keep that to yourself. It's up to you.
Like what I'm asking is it like a familiar feeling like she's felt before? Because I know she's had thoughts about some places and etc., but I'm not sure if it's the same feeling.
As you look at the pond and you ponder what it might mean, you can't help but just, there's a little, best way I can describe it is there's a little smile that seems to come into your heart. You feel like that pond is almost, it's hard to put into words, but you feel like that pond might almost be a place that would shelter you from Strahd.
She'll turn to the rest and say, "We're going inside now."
I think that's the idea. Aye.
Rictavio says, for everyone's safety and to allow you to recover from the battle, I would recommend you all going inside. As I said, Esmeralda, myself, and the Abbot can keep watch out here.
I can leave.
When?
I can leave Chunk and Ferris up here to help you keep watch as well, and I'll tell them both to keep a good eye and smell, and alert them if they see or hear or smell anything.
That would be most appreciated, Mulek. And Esmeralda says, oh, yes, you're a right proper handy wizard to have around. Thank you.
Yeah, they won't bother you. They're pretty harmless.
Oh, harmless to us, maybe. But I think if we were not your friends, they might not be so harmless.
Well, they'll keep a good watch. At first light, though, don't expect to see them around. But
And
they'll be able to watch through the night.
Rictavio says, summoned?
Something like that.
Yes. That is powerful magic, and very handy to have indeed. Oh, we will gladly have their company, and we will try to make sure nothing happens to them until it is their appointed time to return from whence they came.
Perfect. Shall we?
Oh yeah.
Lead Ireena down.
I kinda
coming down.
Look over towards the last place that I left the giant goat. I should probably go check on him. Bring him in here if possible. I'll be back. What?
Trying to bring the big ass goat inside. Let's see how that goes. If it can even fit through the doors.
Well, she could probably at least bring him into the courtyard of the Abbey.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured
nothing
I'd
else.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to do that, there are two ways that you could go.
Okay.
The main gate out of the Abbey is this way. And you could follow the path that winds its way down through the village and out of the main gate here. Or, which would then mean probably bringing the goat back into the town and through the town.
Probably
and
not
everything.
the best idea.
Okay. Then the other way is to sort of navigate your way through this grove of trees and then go around the outside walls. Now, the animals, you guys sent the animals away when you were about right here at this fork in the road, kind of off this way. So
Okay.
Des could sort of, make a loop around the outside wall of the town, and, maybe do whatever he does to call the goat or
What
do
else
that.
did we
And
leave
the,
out there? Who else did we leave out there? Was the goat and
the other two animals, but they already have come up because
okay.
they responded to the
Horn of
silent whistle.
Okay.
And raised all hell. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would say probably if they went tearing off the others that he was hanging out with, more or less, he probably would have gone, oh, I'll go follow and, oh, hey, look, grass.
I could send Rocky with you. He might be able to track its scent.
Nah, I'll take care of it. He's a good goat. And at
Okay.
least he's my friend. Maybe not so much everybody else's, but
Well, the offer's there if you want to.
we've had a few adventures together.
Extra protection while you're out there.
Oh, I appreciate it. And he goes, heads out, grabs his pack, goes out, and off he goes. And
Okay.
he's not really running. He's just he's walking in his normal.
Yeah. It's a fairly steep slope, but you can climb down because it's natural hillside. You can, pick your way down without too much trouble. And there's some game trail type things here where you can tell that wild animals are able to kind of bound up the hill. So when you're coming back, you'll be able to sort of pick and pull and claw your way back up. And of course the goat would have no problem. Yeah. Goat would have
on my way back, on my way there and on my way back, I'll be keeping an eye out for anything growing herbs wise or anything
okay
of interest.
Right. Make me a perception check on your way. All right. Well, there are a few natural herbs, and of course, the thing you've come to realize about Barovia is that all of the herbs, even the helpful and medicinal ones here, are bitter herbs. There's nothing really sweet that grows here.
But there's still stuff that can be used for.
Oh, still stuff that can be used for
medicinal.
Medicinal poultices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you do notice with your 17, you notice as you pass the outer wall of Kresk, you notice up on top of the wall, you notice there's a raven there. And it sort of flutters and calls out to you.
And I bear with me here. I would like to do this. To the raven.
Okay. You start to use that ability, and the raven sort of cocks its head, and then it almost seems to it opens its mouth, and this sound like comes out as it sort of shakes a little bit, and then it flutters down to the ground. And the wall is about 15-20 feet tall, so it flutters down to the ground, and when it stands on the ground, it's about 10 feet away from you. It suddenly begins to transform, and it turns into the master of the vineyard.
What?
Where?
Remind me again.
That is the Martikov. Let me double check what. Gotta remember what his name is again. And okay.
He's not delivering the wine.
Probably not. No.
Okay. What is the
problem number 1? Not delivering the wine.
Okay. Okay. It's Davian Martikov is the um winery owner's name.
Okay.
And he says, Des, thank the gods, you still live. I was worried with the last attack on the vineyard that you might not have survived.
Okay. Refresh my brain. I'm so sorry. Where have I met him before?
The Wizard of Wines. It's a vineyard that's one of the few places where people would accept you without immediately thinking you were a monster.
Gotcha.
They have the gems that help the vines grow healthy, and one of them was
okay.
stolen. Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry.
no, that's all right.
Took a minute for my brain to go, what? Okay.
Yeah.
And I kind of look him over and give him one of those kind of casual smiles, that's part of his charming self. And he's like, no, I survived as usual. Barely by the skin of my teeth. If teeth had skin. Yes. Yes. That's the saying, I think.
Yes.
How have you been?
Well, my family and I, we are in waiting. We had heard that the old man who was in Balaki has come here to Kresk. The vampire hunter, some of my kin think.
Do I know who he's talking about?
Yes, you guys learned that Rictavio
Okay, sorry.
is a vampire hunter.
I gotta like remind myself at this point in time of all the little ins and outs. I'm like, yeah, he's there. So just he's
We were-
supposedly protecting one of the ladies there.
Well, we had hoped that he might help us with the matter of the gems. But who is he protecting? What is this?
Oh, the the love of Strahd, so to speak. Reincarnation.
Oh.
We've managed to find the most recent reincarnation of her, so to speak. And we've been keeping an eye on her.
Oh. Tatiana. She
Well,
walks again.
She goes by a different name.
Oh, well. We're ravens. We are. Is there anything that we can do to be of help?
I do know that there's some things going on in the near future. Possibly need your help. Would like it if you come back with me. I can introduce you to the group I happen to be tagging along with at this point.
Oh,
I'm seeing where
Well.
the wind carries me.
well, I could, but before nightfall, I should get back to Valaki and tell the others of my kin.
Okay. Well, I'll kind of take a few minutes and I'll basically say, well, why don't you walk with me? And I have to go find my goat.
And he looks and he cracks a smile and he says, "Oh, I think Sangzor has found you." And he points, and you see, sort of ambling out of the brush. Sure enough, there's this big, huge, 9-foot tall giant goat just sort of plodding its way towards you. And
Yeah. He inevitably always seems to show up. But as they wait for him to kind of amble his way along, Des will actually fill him in on basically what's been going on since he joined the party. I think it was the day before.
okay.
And when Irene had joined up with the party as well, and what he knows about what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. So, he just kind of in his casual way just fills him in with some basic information.
Okay. So, do you tell him anything that you all learned from the Abbot or not? Or the Abbot or Markovia or not?
To find how well I trust him in my notes.
Okay.
If I trust him, then I'll give him some bits and pieces, maybe not everything.
Okay.
Some bits and pieces info.
Okay. I was just thinking because he did tell you that he was headed back to Valaki.
To where it smells.
Yeah. And I'll go, by the way, did something happen in Valaki? We caught a whiff of open grave coming from that direction.
Okay, Heather, I'm not sure if you're moving around relative to your mic or not, but
Sorry, how's that?
There we go.
Sorry, the cat knocked it up my face.
Okay. All right, you. You would probably generally trust Martikov.
Okay.
And you asked him if anything happened up there, and he says, well, nothing other than that a group of adventurers came through and talked with Rictavio, and then they left this morning. And shortly after they left, he left. And their other guest also checked out. A girl, I believe. Oh, you said the name Ireena, so
Yeah.
you said, oh yes.
Well,
she
then
checked out as well.
the ones that checked out were the ones that I followed along. I was actually through there just yesterday. I didn't see ya.
Well, no, you wouldn't. I tend not to show my own face there. I still haven't brought myself to forgive my son for what happened a decade ago.
Gotcha.
That's why he had to leave the winery and has opened that inn.
Gotcha.
He seems to be doing a good enough business, but
seems to be doing okay. But nope, I But yes, just earlier we all kind of caught a whiff of that scent of open grave that you catch from time to time in this land.
Well, then I'd better definitely take a warning. But yes,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Mm.
I will go take a warning. Later this evening, I will come back. Later this afternoon, I will come back. And
All right.
you all are staying at the Abbey, you
Yes.
say?
I would say
Very well.
land on the roof, and I'll just tell them to expect you.
Very well. Okay.
Make things easy.
And then he gives you a little wave, and he hunches over a little bit and then starts to shapeshift and becomes a raven.
Was
and then
anybody able to see something like that from the tower?
Oh
Or
no,
the
no,
walls? Okay.
no. He makes sure that there's nobody in sight when he does that,
Gotcha.
and he flies back off in the direction of Alaki.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you come climbing back up with the goat.
Yep.
And
Basically,
come
he's just
in.
chatting with the goat in his own way.
Okay. And then you bring him into the gates, and that causes all kinds of consternation with the Mongol folk that are there in the courtyard. They have something of a panic attack. But meanwhile, Ireena, where are you hanging out this afternoon?
I would say Irena's still hanging out where she can get some tea or coffee because she doesn't feel like sleeping yet. She's still trying to process the lake and how it smoothed her feelings a bit.
Okay. You go into the kitchen, and after a little bit, the abbot tells Vasilka to go upstairs to her room. And she just sort of nods, and she leaves and walks out of there. And the abbot sort of muses around, and then after a while he looks at you and he says, "If I didn't know better, I would say something is troubling you."
Trying to look up at him and say, huh? Oh. Well, it's one of. I can be a prison here, I can be a prison to Strahd, I can be imprisoned anywhere, but still be in prison. So what's the point of living if we can't do what we want to do? She kind of takes a sip of her tea and says, I can't explain it very well, but the lake, it gives me warmth and power, you could say. It gives me a sense of hope.
The little
that make
pond,
sense?
do you mean? The pond at the bottom of the hill?
Ireena will nod her head and says, I've had that feeling multiple times in my dreams where I had some hope, but I could never really explain it all too well. I can't remember much about any of it. Is there anyone else around here, or is it just me and them?
A couple of the mongrel folk servants will come in and out, and the abbot, if you are seated at a table, he will stand a respectful distance away, 10, 15 feet away. And he will sort of talk with you. He doesn't ever try to get too close to you. And he watches you with has a very sort of a very bird-like appearance in the way he sort of tilts his head and looks at you. But it's kind of, when you think of a bird, it's kind of like the way an eagle would look at something, or the way a hawk would look at something. He just has he doesn't seem to be trying to do it, but he just has this like very naturally penetrating gaze that when it rests on you, you feel.
Are you a food or danger? Are you a food or a
Oh.
danger to me?
Oh, well, yeah, like he's just sort of fascinated with you.
Gotcha.
So there's no one from the party in the room with them at all?
Well, there's a couple of people that said they were going to take first watch. They can be there in the room if they plan to stay where they can keep an eye on Ireena. They can be there.
Is it night? I mean, is it time to go to bed, or is it?
Oh, no. It's still, by the time Des gets back, it's still mid-afternoon. So it's because this was early afternoon when.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be going. For some reason, I thought we were already in the evening time. So yeah, I probably would just be hanging out.
Okay. And the abbot says, well, even though we cannot see it in this land of perpetual cloud, there's always said that lakes and ponds, they have special qualities at dawn and at dusk. If you like, either at sunset this evening or at sunrise tomorrow, we can go with you to the pond and see if there's anything to be seen there.
Ireena will be a little bit relieved when she hears that, and she says, I would appreciate going in the morning.
Very well. I have been at this abbot for over. I have been at this abbot for over 4. And he kind of catches himself and he says, decades. And I have known that pond to be a source of the cleanest and purest water that I have found anywhere here in Markovia. In fact, I believe that's one reason why Kresk was built where it is because that pond has especially pure water. It is not tainted as so much of the water from streams and rivers and other lakes in this accursed land are. I don't know what accounts for that, but perhaps something in you, perhaps something in the soul that you carry either has a memory of that place or has some sense of it that most of us otherwise do not.
Nina will nod her head and she'll look to the rest and say, you guys are still awake? You guys gonna join for coffee or tea or anything of the sort? Or are you just gonna stare over me this entire time?
Me and Mulik are taking the first watch, so.
Grandma's fast asleep.
So I look over at Mulik. So did you reach out to Abinadom yet, Mulik?
No, not since we last talked about it. He seemed to not have much information the first time I discussed with him, other than to basically watch my back for these dangerous creatures that roam this land.
Well, you're in good hands. I've got your back, but we need to figure out our next game plan. I mean, are they really seriously talking about us going to the castle?
I mean, it appears that way. I mean, it seems like our way out of this place is through either that castle or the person who controls it. I'm still interested in going back to visit the Vistani, though. Part of me hopes that we might be able to gain some allies with them. But if not, then, so be it. But I'm still curious to meet their holy woman.
Speaking of holy, as the abbot I was hearing the abbot talk about that pond, right?
Yeah. If you guys are in the room, you would hear him. He wouldn't make that a secret or anything.
Your Holiness, Abbot, if I was to collect a couple gallons of that water, could you bless it?
I could bless the water. Such as the... Well, let me just double check something. In 5th edition...
I mean, I can roll a religion check if you want me to, Gally, to see about holy water on that end. Because what I was thinking was, through studies, because history and religion, that some temples would have holy water flowing from their temples.
Yes, those that were particularly touched by the by their deity. Hang on just a second. I need to double check.
Falazure is asking that to the priest person, I forget his name, oopsie. She'll turn to Mulek and say, "You guys want to escape this place? That's what your goal is?"
Our goal is to go home.
Just to get out of Barovia.
I'm foreverly stuck here for what it seems. So she kind of gives off a little chuckle, but for some odd reason, same feeling of that lake, it gives me this type of feeling of freedom. And in my dreams I've been having for multiple nights now since she kind of points up at her scarf, too ashamed to say it. I've been seeing this tower by a lake. Not that lake, but I think a bigger lake or another place. I know that for sure. There's a wizard's tower there, and the wizard's tower gives me some sort of escape, if that makes any sense.
I'm not familiar of any such lake that I've come across that has a large tower next to it. But you're saying that you have visions of a lake with a wizard's tower, and that you get the feeling that that's a way to escape?
Well, that's one of the dreams that I've been having, but yes, it gives me this sense of hope in a way. So I feel like we're both kind of trying to achieve the same goals of trying to escape something. So maybe it could help you guys out in the long run. And by any chance, are you ever heading to a temple? And she kind of inches her head a bit, kind of trying to dig deeper in her head or mind. And this one says, "There's 2 statues in front of something. They're made out of amber."
Des kind of walks in about that point in time and goes, "Oh, talking about the Amber Temple, hey?"
She kind of shrugs and says, I'm not sure, but I know a temple, it gives me some sort of hope. Have you been there?
Yes, I've been there. It's a very ancient structure. Seriously? Sorry, my cat is causing devastation in my hobby room. We it was supposedly built by good aligned wizards thousands of years ago, according to my friend that I came with. But within about half a mile of the place, we all started kind of feeling uneasy. And the closer we got, the stronger that feeling of incredible ancient evil got worse and worse as we got closer. And we got close enough to see the facade of the Amber Temple itself, but it felt like there was a malevolent power that was watching us from each of those statues. And unfortunately, Eudovius couldn't seem to sense it. He just seemed to be excited about it, even though some of our other companions were even feeling some of that. And there was a rook there, and it was, you kind of see his face get a little bit haunted. It went for our horses, and Eudovius thought he could scare it away with some spells, but only seemed to make it angry. And it chased us from the temple and all the way back down the road to the ancient bridge. So we lost 2 of our companions on the bridge due to it being icy. And one of our mounts faltered and the rook took it, grabbed it with its huge talons, and took both the horse and the rider and flew off. That was one of our companions we lost. And we've heard some local legends that say about where the nest is for that. And it might have been in the lands, might have been there as long as the Amber Temple has been, which is said to be 1,000 years older than Strahd himself.
And the abbot nods gravely as Des talks and says, "Yes, I know of the Amber Temple. I also know of this tower that Ireena speaks of. The tower is on the southern shore of Lake Baratok, on a little isthmus that sticks out onto an island in the lake. It is an ancient place. And, well, it has been there for as long as I have been here. The Amber Temple. Yes. What you have heard, Des, is true. It was created by an ancient order of very powerful, good aligned paladins and wizards. It was meant as a place to entomb great evil, great evil that holds sway over places like Barovia, scattered throughout the multiverse. But, like you, I have sensed, in the times I have been close to it, something corrupted in there. I believe that whatever guards it is no longer retains the good nature of the people who constructed that place. I have never been inside. I do not have much desire for a suicide mission. I think perhaps tomorrow, if we should go at dawn to the little pond that is drawing Ireena. We will see if that tells us anything. If not, perhaps you can go explore this wizard's tower. You may want to ask your Rictavio if he knows anything about it, or Esmeralda. And as you guys realize, those two are still up on top of the walls with
Speaking
two
of
of the
which,
summoned.
I need to let them know to expect someone around evening.
Oh? What
Oh.
manner of someone?
Oh, just another person that we made friends with along our travels. I seem to collect them like some collect coins. It was the Wizard of Wines, or the wizard of the Wines Winery. Excuse me, I was sneeze.
Oh, one of the Martikovs.
Yes.
Is this one of them that is afflicted with lycanthropy?
Yes. In the form of a crow.
A raven. A were-raven.
Well, crow, raven.
Well, you might be surprised. I know you're one who takes a special note of nature, but ravens, you see, are noble birds. They are messengers of good and keepers of law. Crows, however, are merely carrion scavengers and often servants of evil. Mistaking one for the other is often very bad. Unfortunately,
Let's just put it this way: as a young wee one, I actually managed to raise a crow from a babe that had tumbled out of a nest, and they are actually, if raised under the right circumstances, can be very loving, very intriguing animals that are very much about family. And it was very surprising to raise one. Now, granted, that was from where I came, and yes, they sometimes do have a very perchance of going bad, but if raised right, they actually, they're actually pretty interesting feathered friend, if I could call them that. So, not quite to the level of a raven, but they aren't bad.
and
That's
he
just my
nods.
own
He
thoughts.
says, "Well, unfortunately, the inside the structures are warded against all lycanthropes. I could not ward it against evil lycanthropes and allow good ones like werebears and wereravens.
Is he at least allowed to land on the roof?
He would be, but he should not enter the courtyard, or else some of the defenses of the place might attack him.
Oh. Well, I told him to meet us on the roof, and he was actually to look for one the gent upstairs.
Ah, you're Rictavio.
Yes, he knows of him.
Okay.
Or
Well,
yes. Anyway.
Well, then, I suppose there's nothing left for me except to go check on the residents. You all, I will have somebody show you to your rooms this evening. I will leave you all to your own devices. And he scuttles off. And so somewhere towards evening, Des can get the party together and tell them about his friend. And
Some
would
of them
you
are already
guys?
there.
Yeah. Would you guys? Did anybody want to go up and meet this guy, or would not want to go up and meet this guy?
I trust Dez enough that I think I can trust Dez's judgment enough that if this person is on Dez's side, I think we'll be okay. And that's Thaldor's opinion.
Yeah, Mulek wants to chill with Thaldor and do something separate. We're gonna work on something.
Okay.
I've
All
got a
right.
question for Mulek as well, so I'm going to follow them.
Okay. And then Falazure was initially resting, but he's probably by the time we would get towards evening, he's had his 6 hours, and so he could be got up for anything.
Okay.
So, would Falazure then be with the group, or is he gonna go up on the roof, or what would he do?
Yeah, I guess he would go find the group.
Okay, all right. So, let's take anybody that wants to do something as a small group. I think we had Thaldor and Mulek.
Crinraid was
And
following.
perhaps Crinraid. Okay, so let's go ahead and take care of what you guys wanted to do.
Yeah, when it comes to like sort of a quiet time, I was just going to talk to Thaldor and say, "Hey, Thaldor, you interested in helping me find out a little bit more about this carpet creature I've got?"
Sure. We can check him out.
I thought we could do some, since we're in kind of a safe place, we could go find a little room somewhere and see if we could figure out what this little thing can do.
Sounds fair to me. I guess Crinraid wants to tag along with us.
Kryn, you want to come along?
I don't know. I want to go inside a room with two other guys and tussle on a carpet, but if you want me to stand guard, I'll do that.
Giggling.
We could always use a guinea pig.
What's that?
We could always
Sounds like a
We could always use a sucker.
I don't have any suckers.
Just come with us, Finraid. It'd be okay.
I've got a question to ask Milek anyway, so that works for me.
You know what I'm talking about, the carpet creature.
Conrad's thinking really hard. He's really trying to remember, but
the little doll.
I remember, but I don't think Conrad does. He does. Okay, we're good. Oh yeah, that's it. I forgot about. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about something else.
No.
While you're studying that, could you have a look at this ring I found as well?
Sure.
I'll hand him the ring.
Oh, this is a nice looking ring. Where did you get it?
It's from my home. It's got the Hill Crest signet on it, but it was one of the rune keepers used it. I managed to grab it before everything went very dark, black, and depressing, but I've never really found a use for it. I was thinking of just selling it, but it's a bit at home, I want to know what's up with it.
Well, I'm gonna need some time. Probably can't get to it till tomorrow.
No, that's fine. Any time, mate. Whenever it's best for you to have a look at it, that'll be great.
All right.
Do I need to bring my hammer?
You can do what you want with your hammer, Cran.
Okay, I'll bring my hammer to the carpet tussle then.
The carpet tussle.
So we'll go. I guess we can find like a room somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys can find a spare room in one of the wings of the Abbey.
All right, we'll go to a room. Sorry, go ahead.
Actually, the Abbot has a workshop. Let's do this.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Abbot has a workshop up on the second floor. And that would be this room. Whoops. I've never. It would be this room here. So this room right here would be the Abbot's workshop. And he's
Nice.
yeah, he as you get up there, you notice that there's a wooden stairs climb 20 feet to a loft with a pitched roof and a door in the center of the south wall. Unlit lanterns hang from the rafters, and a rope dangles from a bronze bell lodged in the belfry 30 feet overhead. The room is filled with the sound of beautiful music, a melody so enchanting it adds a bit of much-needed warmth to the otherwise freezing room. A black shroud covers a humanoid shape lying on a wooden table. The music does nothing to stir it. A cot heaped with furs rests in the northeast corner, surrounded by empty wine bottles. An oil lamp burns atop a nearby table, silhouetting a SWAT creature that has two heads. It sits on the edge of the cot with a viol between its legs. With a crustacean craw-like appendage, it grasps the neck of the instrument while running a bow gently across the strings with its human hand.
Sorry, it's a little humanoid creature? What kind of creature is it?
The little humanoid creature, it looks like it's about the height of a halfling. And it has the head and the forearm of a full-sized human. It's got and then kind of growing out of its right shoulder, it's got sort of the neck and head of what looks like a human infant. And then its right arm ends in what looks like a lobster claw, while its left arm has a human sized forearm and hand. And it sits on a cot. And it's just playing this very beautiful music on this violin. And then over there on that table, there's a shroud covering a humanoid form.
This room looks like it might be occupied.
Yeah, we might want to find somewhere more secluded. Although the music is lovely.
Yeah,
Hey.
I want to find somewhere a little bit where we can get some privacy.
Okay, he looks up at you, and he just sort of gives a smile, and he kind of, with his full-size head, he sort of nods toward the little baby head, which actually has its eyes closed, and which just
Not
sort of
creepy
seems
at
to be,
all.
just sort of seems to be almost sleeping, and it just keeps playing this music, and it's just kind of like, you know, you guys can make insight checks if you want to.
Kermit's too disturbed by the sight to roll. He's distracted.
Okay.
It reminds him of some horror
Ouch.
stories that his mother used to read to him.
Okay. Yeah. You guys, Milek, you get from this some idea that the music is somehow important to the little baby head, but you don't quite know what that all means.
I think it's trying to keep the baby asleep. Let's just. I suggest we just turn around and walk out of this room. I don't.
I agree.
Go find somewhere else.
Let's go.
Backing up.
Okay.
Backing up. Backing up.
Okay.
Backing up.
So you guys go out of there, and then let's see, what is the... Oh, okay. You guys find over here an office, an empty office. A wooden counter shaped like an L stands at the front of the spacious office. All the other furniture is rotted away, leaving heaps of moldy wood and faded cloth. And there doesn't appear to be anything of any great value there.
All right, this room might work.
They're nice and secluded. There's no one watching in. No creepy babies.
Yeah,
I think we're good.
I'll reach into my bag and think of Pidlwick and lift Pidlwick out of the bag and place him on the ground.
Okay. You place him on the ground, and he looks around, and he looks up at all of you, and then he goes over, and he just reaches a hand up, and he just sort of grabs onto the leg of Mulek's trousers.
And
He just sort of looks up at you.
I'll kneel down and I'll pat him on the head and I'll say, "Good Pidlwick." And I will. I want to spend some time, and I'm going to tell Pidlwick, I'd like to examine you for a little bit. And Thaldor, would you like to come help me? We aren't going to hurt you, Pidlwick. We just want to learn more about you. Is that okay?
And looks at Mulek, and then looks at Thaldor, and looks back at Mulek, and then it just sort of nods a couple of times.
And so I want to. I'm going to reach again into my bag of holding and and grasp the stone speaker crystal. And
Okay.
while I'm doing that, I want to start investigating this doll. I want to try and learn as much as I can about this doll.
Okay. So go ahead and make an investigation check.
And
Dirty 20.
And I believe it gives me advantage. I think the stone speaker crystal gives me advantage. Let me just double check.
I'd like to take up my shield in the back as well and just hold it ready in case Pidlwick decides to, I say the carpet creature decides to unleash another dart.
Okay.
No, I can't find my notes on it. Do I have
Gonna stand to the side, bit back, but close enough that I can interject if I need to.
Hey, Galvan, do you remember if it gives me advantage on investigation? I want to think it does.
Oh,
I can't find where I have the. I thought I saved
Stone
the
speaker.
but I don't see it.
Stone speaker crystal. Let me go ahead and very quickly go over here.
It's investigation checks, yeah.
Oh, did you find it?
Yeah.
Advantage on investigation? Okay, that's what I thought. So I'll go ahead and do advantage.
Speak with animals, speak with the dead, speak with plants. Advantage on intelligence-based investigation checks. So, like dex-based
Oh,
investigation.
that's not bad. Dirty 20 and a dirty 21.
There it is.
Okay. All right. So you begin looking, and you notice that Pidlwick has, he's got the outfit that is on him, and that appears to be covering a skin that is like a leather that is stretched over some sort of a framework. And you notice that there is, right in his little belly, there's an area where that frame appears to include something like a door or a hatch.
Should we open that,
Yeah.
Mulek?
Yeah, I want to try and open it.
Okay. You
And I've got Tinker's tools and Thieves' tools.
okay.
I'd say we have tools galore, don't we?
Tell me what are you, how are you going to try to open this?
Well, I want to see if is it look like it's meant to be open. Like, I want to see.
It looks like it can be opened. Yes, it looks like it's a hatch or something.
Yeah, I basically want to see if it's something that would like hold something that like I could hide something, or is it something to reload? Because I know this thing can do some. I don't know what it can do. Some kind of attack.
Okay, so you reach out. You sort of lift up the outfit so that you can expose this little hatch, and then you reach out towards it to touch it. And as you do, I'm going to say that you guys would notice then as you reach towards it, two things happen. One is that Pidlwick's hand goes to grab the little club or baton that he holds in his waist. And the other thing that happens is his little mouth opens up. And you can see it too.
Whoa.
It's shield straight in the gob.
No. Pidlwick.
Pidlwick, stop.
We're not trying to hurt you. We're trying to maybe fix you. Maybe if we figure something out, you'll be a better Pidlwick. We're not here to hurt you, buddy.
Okay. Somebody roll a persuasion check.
Not me.
Not me. I've got
My God,
buckler in his mouth,
leave it to the rogue. Leave it to the rogue.
I'm not going to be that convincing with my buckler in his jaw.
I'm not bad.
Okay,
It's really not a
Thaldor.
-2.
Yeah, Thaldor with a 19. Pidlwick looks at you, looks at Mulek. The little mouth closes. It takes its hand off of its baton, and it just sort of, moves its arms out of the way so you can look at the little hatch.
Thank you, Pidlwick. Like I said, and I just pat him on the head. It's okay. We're not going to hurt you. Your master Mulek is here. He wants to help you as well, so it's okay.
Yeah, and I say thank you and just look for permission to examine the hatch.
I'll remove the shield from his face and back off. Or let them do what they need to do.
Okay, you make a check with your tinker's tools. And I guess this would be a dexterity check with your tinker's tools, so that would
if you can't get it, Mulek, I can use my thieves' tools and roll a dex check.
I'm also going to guide myself, so I'm going to take one of my limitless pills because I know this looks kind of delicate. So
okay.
I'm going to guide myself when I do this. So.
Nice.
Might not need to. Let's see.
All right. Great. So.
I don't know why it says healing. Ignore that. So it's just 1.
Yeah. So 22 total.
Yeah.
You discover it's kind of an ingenious little thing where the mechanism, if you push in on one side and then sort of lift up, it seems to release a latch, and then it's hinged on the other side, and you open this little hatchway, and you see inside Pidlwick there are 2 very fine gauge metal. It's hard to tell. It's hard to know what to call them in a medieval sense, but if what you can tell is that there's 2 sets of darts. There are looks like there can be 6 darts in each set, and one set of darts has has green flights on it. The other set of darts has red flights on it.
Could I roll? Because I know because I have a poisoner's kit. Could I roll to see if I know about those darts?
Okay. Are you going to try to take one out and examine it?
Yes.
Okay.
Carefully.
Which one are you going to try to take out? One of the green ones or one of the red ones?
The green dart first.
Okay. All right. So you can take it out, and you can see how this is made, and it's like the size of a dart that might be fired from a blowgun, basically. So go ahead and make a check with your poisoner's kit.
I'm going to guide him. So here, Thaldor, take one of these pills.
Sure. I always like taking your pills. Let me find it.
Mulek the Pusher.
Yep,
right.
he's my dope man. Let's see. I know I have a poisoner's kit. I gotta find it. Oh, there it is. Poisoner's kit. Can I roll with that?
I think it would be like a medicine check with advantage, or whatever it says that you would. Not with advantage, but with your
because it's just saying utility in my
it's
thing.
enabler, so you just roll with your proficiency.
Proficiency. That's the word I was looking for.
My proficiency bonus would be depends on what it is.
Well,
think-
you have
yeah.
a standard proficiency bonus based on your level, which I think is either
True.
+3 or +4.
That'll be 3. And then
3.
Plus
yeah.
3.
So
And
plus 3.
then you would have your medicine skill. So if you have whatever that is, you would then just add 3 to it. And then you're getting guidance from Mulek on top of it.
So that's
Nailed it.
10.
9 and 3
plus
is
12, and then whatever Mulek.
Or I can
D4?
do it. Yeah, just
Yeah, you do it. D4.
I can do it.
Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Oh, jeez.
13. Okay. You're familiar with poisons, and this is 13 is good enough to figure this out. These green darts have a fairly potent sleep poison on them.
Ooh.
Hmm.
So I look over at Mulek and go, yeah, this not only would knock you out, but probably kill you, but it'd put you to sleep first.
Oh, nice.
Now, I don't know about the red ones. Red usually means dead. So,
Yeah, and when I say sleep poison, I mean it's basically something that will render you unconscious. It's not lethal.
oh, non-lethal. Okay.
Yeah. Well, in D&D terms, it's called a poison, but the effect of the poison is to put you to sleep.
Okay,
It's
these will
not.
knock you out, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mulek.
All right.
They're non-lethal, so they would knock you out. But like I said, red usually means dead. But do you want me to check one of the red darts?
Yes.
Okay. So you want me to roll the same thing again?
Yeah.
I got another pill for you.
Ooh, that one's a little less.
So 11 base, and then okay,
Ooh.
14. So that's a little better. Yeah, this is a lethal poison dart. This will do quite a bit of damage. Because of your roll, you can identify the type of it, but you didn't roll high enough to know exactly how much. But from a player standpoint, sleep in D&D affects hit points, and poison in D&D deals hit point damage. So basically, you can shoot somebody with a green dart, and if they have below the threshold of hit points, it will just render them unconscious. If they have more than that hit points, it's like a sleep spell that doesn't have enough to put somebody to sleep.
Gotcha.
On the red darts, those deal poison damage. So just like a spell, you roll it, they try to make a save. They will take either full damage or half damage, and of course, if the damage is enough to be lethal, it will kill them. So that's what these darts do. And
Gotcha.
you notice, looking at this, that there are a full load of 6 of the red darts, and there are 5 of the green darts. So one of those sleep darts has been fired at some point, and you know that none of the darts have been fired since you got this guy. So,
So Mulek, apparently, he would come in handy if we were to need either death or sleep. So I don't know if he can he. Would we know with our investigation that he could actually choose which dart he uses?
well, you know that he responds to commands.
Yeah.
Good point.
And he can do that. So it might be as simple as telling him which dart to use, but you would have to probably test that at some point.
And can we tell by looking at it that would it be fairly easy for us to test a dart and then reload that dart?
Well, You know by the construction of these darts are fairly delicate, so they're probably one use only. But you could
Could I manufacture?
fabricate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys could fabricate between Krenraid's skills and Mulik skills and the poison skills from Thaldor. You guys could fabricate more darts.
I can make them worse.
I could definitely make them
but
worse.
You could change those to be whatever you want. So, you could.
So I'm gonna look at Pidlwick and I'm imagining he's looking at us and I'm gonna tell Pidlwick we're going to keep one of each of these darts because we want you to be the best that you can be. And we want to study these and make more so that you can shoot these and never run out. Does that sound like a good idea to you, Pidlwick?
And he nods.
So I'll subtract. So now there's only 4 green and 5 red.
Yep.
And we'll keep the other 2 to study and manufacture more or tinker with to see what we can do with them.
Okay, all right. So then this is a thing for James. All right.
As we were looking in there, can I see any other of his mechanics through the door?
No, there's like this chamber has an inner skin, basically, that keeps you from being able to see too much of the other mechanism. It probably also helps to keep dust and dirt and stuff out of his innards and his other workings.
At his joints, what I'm going to do to help, if I do got an oil flask on me. I just want to put some drops of oil on all of his joints.
Okay.
So like his neck joint, his elbows, knees, I want to lube him up pretty much.
So
The jars of lamp
all right,
oil.
he seems to appreciate that.
Well, yeah, Krenraid had an oil flask on me, so I was like, just some drops of oil in the appropriate spots, you know.
It's for the lamps, but I don't see why you can't use it for that purpose.
I use it for other nefarious purposes, but that's besides the point.
So do I.
Now that he's all greased up and everything, I'm gonna. Okay, can you guys move out of the way? I want to see how fast Pidlwick can move, and I'm gonna lead Pidlwick to the end of the room, and I'm gonna tell Pidlwick, okay, Pidlwick, I want to see how fast you can run. So when I say run, I want you to run to the end of the wall, touch the wall, and run back to me. Do you understand?
He nods.
Okay, and Thaldor, you're the mastermind. Let me know how long it takes him. I want to try and figure out his speed.
Okay.
And I'd look at Pidlwick and go, okay, you ready? On the count of 3.
He nods.
1, 2, 3. Run.
And he trots off and he trots back, and Thaldor, you can tell that his movement rate is 30 feet, just like a normal human. And then obviously if he doesn't do anything except move, he can move 60 feet and around.
Okay, so at his full sprint, he could probably move about 60 feet, Mulik. But normal, just running like he did, probably about 30.
Okay, that's not bad for his size.
Not at all. Yeah, that's damn good.
Did we notice?
Nice little guy.
Did we notice if he was quiet?
He's not terribly He's not terribly.
He's got a jester's hat with bells on it, right? I might make it.
Yeah,
difficult.
yeah. He's not terribly quiet.
He does have a chest of bells. Dang it.
Yeah.
There is something I think that we should test as well, while we've got him out, is does he only take your commands? And how deadly is he? I'm going to pull out my shield again. Just load up.
Do you
I
want
feel like you should tell him to attack me.
You want you? Okay. We could do it without the darts.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then I want you to tell him
Actually-
to stop to see if he does stop. We need to know if he could control him properly.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Wow, and I'm usually the smart one. Way to go, Crinraid.
No, I just saw it open its mouth. I don't know if I trust the damn
Really
thing.
wants the fight. Hey, Galabon, can I ask a favor? Can we take a break right now for 10 minutes?
Sure. Yeah, actually, okay. Yeah, that would be a good time. Let's go ahead and take a break. I have 10 till the top of the hour, so we'll be back at the top of the hour. I'll go ahead and put the music on, and we'll be back.
All right, I'll be right back.
Love Pidlwick. Such a lovely character. Such a creepy, lovely little.
Yeah, I wish he could talk.
Maybe we can teach it.
I don't know. That was another thing I was going to say. That's why I was looking to see if I could see his insides and be like, okay, you know, I know the doll maker said he couldn't make him talk, but there's something disconnected, something that should be connected, you know?
There's definitely
Just
some magic
because-
items that can help us with this situation. Like there are ways of making this work, or we could look for an artificier or someone who's more experienced with his like to fashion a new voice modulator or something. There's definitely ways we can do it.
Well, well, that's what I'm saying. We spoke with the doll maker, and that didn't turn out too well about that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. But either, like you said, if he can take James's commands, Felix's commands, then I think we're doing pretty good. So,
Definitely. And if you could take also your commands or someone else's, then we'll at least know. Like, I feel like he'll definitely take Mulek's, but would he take yours, as an example? Or mine? Like, me and Pidlwick at the moment have a pretty stretched relationship. I've called him crazy, ugly doll a few times, so he might relish the opportunity to bash my head in.
It's bad. I can see just Belle trying to bat around this little thing, but still be jumpy and scary once it like turns its head or something.
Oh, it's totally 360 turned its head before, by the way. It's creepy as hell.
I think it'll be a little bit creeped out, thanks.
It is wonderfully creepy. This is all OOC, of course, but there are, you know, golems and warforged and all sorts of other mechanical beings that can speak or have their thoughts read. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility that this sentient doll could have something similar done. Ask Crimraid about that. He has no bloody idea. It's way beyond him. It's too smart.
right, maybe me and Mulek can figure something out.
Yeah. I'm relying on you. You got this, I believe. You're so intelligent. You've got this down.
Right. At least we figured out about the darts, though. Yeah.
I like the idea of us fashioning some varying ammunition. If he's got two belts, right, then theoretically you could stagger them too, and you could have varying effects depending on which one's fired.
True.
Sounds fun. Very
It does.
useful too. Although Cremrate in character is going to be very hesitant about giving this wonderful little guy any extra ammunition.
Right, but that's why we're testing him.
So, yeah, exactly.
Smart idea on James's part.
Absolutely, yeah, it's the right call. Like we do need to know this. Otherwise, we just stay in the background. It's nice to bring him to the fore again, even if it is eating up a bit of time. It's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do. I mean, we're still getting a game plan together, and I have an idea in James's mind that he will be useful. The little Pidlwick guy be useful for where we're going.
Definitely. In fact, he may have already, been around the block for a while. We got him from the Vistani.
Vistani, yeah.
I was trying to remember which one it was. Yeah, the Vistani, and they obviously may have got it from somewhere else, but it's been around for a while. We know that. We know it's old, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Trying to remember what the toy maker told us. I think it's old. There's a legend around it.
Something like that.
All right.
Welcome back, Elder.
Welcome back.
Come back. Is everybody back?
Not yet.
James, okay.
Because he had to go to the bathroom.
Okay, yeah. Before I forgot, I went ahead and I sent him a PM that has the details on the darts. Obviously, Mulek wouldn't know that until the experimentation is done, but since he's probably the one that is going to be more or less doing this, he should know what this guy does. And I forgot to say, what's the range? Oh, yeah, okay. So that's important. Range is that. All right. So while we're waiting for James to get back, who hasn't done something in a while? Falazure and Falazure and Ireena. What are you guys getting up to?
You said it's like late afternoonish, right?
Yeah, this is probably
Evening.
this is probably evening, yeah.
Maybe Falazure is eating with Ireena.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because last she was known was that she was drinking tea.
Yeah, that was in the
fireplace.
afternoon. Okay. So you just kind of hang out there in the kitchen most of the afternoon.
Sometimes walk upstairs with Rotavio and Emerzelda and see what they're up to, check the lake out, go back downstairs just to get some breathers, and yeah.
Okay. Would you well, I guess yeah, so you are there and Falazure's there, so you guys can talk if you want to.
You disappeared for quite a while. Where'd you go?
I was tired. I just needed a rest.
She kind of raises an eyebrow at him and says, "Well, I didn't hear you out in the battlefield much. So what did you have to be tired about?"
Well, I got to carry this damn shield and heavy armor around and, talking to everybody, dealing with all the, interactions. And plus, doing the most of the heavy lifting on the battlefield. Not to mention, I got to make us gold. A lot of people depend on me, and it's very energy draining.
She'll kind of look at him up and down and say, "Uh-huh. Sure."
Nah,
Still look at him and say,
I'm just fucking with you. I was dirty. I wanted to clean up, and I was tired.
She'll actually give out a soft laugh and says, "I can see why they keep you around."
I have my moments.
So is this the party? Like, is this your friends and things like that?
Yeah. You know what they say, you can't pick your family.
Well, I can choose to disagree with that in multiple situations, but that's besides the point.
Well, we've been through a lot together, and well, they're kind of like my brothers at this point, I think. But don't tell them that. I don't want them thinking anything weird.
Just don't
All
make
right. All right. And Des,
it. Mm-hmm.
would you at some point be wanting to go talk to Rictavio and Esmeralda? Give them a heads up.
Basically, after I got back, I go upstairs. I was going to just say, hey, there's going to be a raven that's going to land on the roof. It's this person. And then after I got done giving that information, I would have gone and found a place to sleep for a few hours.
And Rictavio says, another Martikov, and not one from the inn. I wonder if their whole clan are were-ravens.
Well, I'm sure you'll be able to ask him when he gets here.
I look forward to it. Did you by any chance inform the abbot? There may be wards against such
yeah, there
creatures.
are wards. So he doesn't think there'll be a problem landing on the roof, but can't come in.
Ah, a sensible precaution. Very well. We shall look for this Martikov.
I appreciate it. Anything I can send up to you?
You can just have the servants bring us some hot tea when they get an opportunity. Will any of you be keeping watch overnight?
Yeah, we'll take it in turns.
Ah, very good. Very good.
I'm going to get some sleep while I can. Now that I found Sangzor.
Very good.
On me, so.
And then you hear a out in the courtyard out there, and you see that he's over munching on, some kind of vine that's growing up the side of the wall.
And then pull, and then eat some more.
Yep. And Rictavio just gives a little smile and says, well, he's very efficient.
He is a good destroyer of hedges.
Yes. And I rather imagine kind of intimidating to anyone who gets in his way.
Yeah. A bit. He's just a big old softy, though.
Well, I will do my best to keep from raising his ire. Rest well, friend.
So he heads back down.
Okay. All right. Oh, and just in time. Okay, so James, you would have, or Mulek would have no way of knowing the information I sent him or I sent you in the PM until you do your test. But before I forgot it, I wanted to make sure that you had that in case you guys decide that you're going to have Pidlwick participate in any combats.
Okay, perfect.
So you'll know sort of what you're dealing with there.
Okay.
All right. So what are you doing with respect to the what was this test that you guys were gonna do?
I'm gonna look down at Pidlwick. I'm like, Pidlwick, you've been very patient with us. I appreciate it. You're very good, Pidlwick. We would like to
He nods.
We want to do another test. But I want to make sure that you understand that when I say stop, that you stop immediately what you are doing. Do you understand?
He nods.
We want to see, and I want you to know that we are not going to hurt you. We just want to see how strong you are. Do you see my friend Krenraid over there? And I point to the dwarf against the wall.
Hi.
He nods.
I want you to take that little club of yours, and I want you to go and attack Krenraid with that club. Do not use your darts. Only your club. Do you understand?
He nods. And he turns. And he looks at Krenraid. And
Punch the shield a few times. Come on, little guy.
he has no way of, changing the expression in his eyes or anything like that. But he just sort of pulls that club out, and then he just sort of stalks up towards you. And he raises the club up, and he attempts to hit. He'll attempt to hit Krenraid. So let's go ahead and do this. And he hits a mighty armor class 8 with the first attack.
Oh, come on, little guy. I know you can do better than that.
A mighty armor class 12 with the second. Now, okay, I guess. Would Krenraid be trying to make it easy for him to hit, or would you guys want to see just how easy is it for him to hit somebody that's trying to avoid being hit?
I'm purposely doing my best to not get hit. I want to see him try his best to hit me. And see what he can do.
So it's basically he's going to need to hit your real armor class to hit you.
Yeah.
So then the third is a 10. The fourth attack is a 19. Does a 19 hit?
With my shield, I'm able to bludgeon the blow, but my knee does buckle a bit. I'm like, oh, that's some muscle. There you go. That's better. Come on.
Okay, so that's all right. So then a 5, then a 4, then a 9, then 11.
Oh, Pidlwick, come on.
Okay, finally 20. Does a 20 hit?
He did need a 20, so that's fair. Yes, a 20 beats it. So he finally snakes his way past the shield and smacks me.
Okay, and he deals 3 points of damage to you with that little club.
And what does
Take a
Krenraid
little.
do? Do you scream in pain like a little girl?
No, I'm just gonna say, there you go. That's better. I knew you could do it if you tried, you little monstrosity.
Okay, so he hasn't been told to stop yet. Yeah. So now he hits again for another 20 for 1 point of damage.
Stop.
You can stop now, Pidlwick.
Okay. And after the second hit, he raises the club up, and then Mulek says, stop. And he has the club raised, and his head just turns around 180 degrees and looks at Mulek, but he doesn't move. He's just looking back at Mulek.
Put your club away, Pidlwick.
And then he looks back at he turns his head back around, he looks at Krenraid, and he nods, and he puts his club away, and he turns around and he walks back over to Mulek.
Good job, Pidlwick, and I pat him on the head.
Hey, Pidlwick, attack me.
And he looks at Krenraid, and then he looks at Mulek, and he looks back at Krenraid, and he looks back at Mulek.
That's an order, Pidlwick. Attack me.
He just keeps looking at Mulek then.
No, put my shield down. I think that pretty much shows enough, doesn't it, boys?
Good job, Pidlwick. I pat him again.
He got some good hits in there. I'm very impressed with the little boy.
Could we tell from that display if he had some type of multi-attack, or was it just one attack?
Just one attack.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else we can glean from Pidlwick? He's got some other things kind of dangling from him.
Those are just ornamentation.
Okay.
Those are the well, I guess the only thing that is not ornamental is his little satchel. It's empty right now, but it's a satchel that's the size that you could put probably a couple of potion vials in it, or you could put a few coins in it. Those types of things. It's not very big.
I am going to pull out a vial from my pocket, and I'm going to give to Pidlwick. As Pidlwick, can you put this in your bag, in your pouch? And I want to see.
And he takes it, and his little hand is he's got fingers, but they are articulated, but they're made kind of metal with leather stretched over them, so they don't have the greatest grip in the world, but he can lift a potion vial or a coin or something. And so he takes it and he pulls open his little pouch and he sticks it in his pouch.
Okay. I figure if he's dexterous enough to juggle, that he would probably be able to grab a bottle.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. You're right. He can juggle. So yeah, he would be dexterous enough to do that.
And I'm going to say, Pidlwick, deliver that vial to Falazure.
And he turns and he looks at Falazure, and he walks over to Falazure, and he reaches into his little bag and he pulls the vial out and he holds it up to you, Falazure.
I take it.
I think Pidlwick will come in handy, although I'm wondering if we might need to do something about making him a little bit more quieter.
Probably have to take the bells off.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to like that, but we could try to take the bells off.
Yeah. And I walk over to Pidlwick and I, Pidlwick, do you like these bells that make so much noise?
His eyes can't look up at them, but he
I'll jingle them, like I'll grab and kind of make the noise. I was like, do you like this noise, or would you like us to remove these so that you're quiet?
And as soon as you jingle the bells a little bit, it seems to almost trigger a kind of almost an automatic response, because as soon as you jingle those bells, he sort of ducks kind of out of your grasp, and he reaches in to his pouch and he begins dancing and he starts juggling. And while he's dancing and juggling, of course, his bells are shaking, and he's just going into his little juggling routine. He's there dancing.
If I look at the bells, can I see a way to remove the inner bell? Like, does it look like I could pry something open to remove whatever makes the noise?
Clapper.
Yeah, they're just like a simple little hollow metal sphere. Well, not an exact sphere, but made with folded little flaps of metal, and there's like a little bead or pea or something inside there that just rattles around as they move
So I'll look
and
at
makes it jingle.
I'll look at Pidlwick and say, Pidlwick, do you mind if I do you mind if I make this quiet? Can I make this quiet?
And he stops dancing and he catches the balls and he just sort of looks at you. And then he takes the balls and he puts them away and then he just sort of drops his head and looks at the ground.
Oh, he's sad. But, I mean...
Pidlwick, you have a great ability and you could be a great help to us. And I promise that you will not stop performing for us and this will not be permanent. And I can always make it so that you make the sound again.
And you're really good with that little club. You got me good. Oh, yeah.
Very good. So I'm going to make it so that you're quiet, so that no one can hurt you. And as I'm saying this, I'm pulling out my tinker's tools and I'm going to try to.
And he looks up at you and he looks around at the three of you. And then he just sort of walks over towards Mulek. And then as Mulek is getting out his tools, he just sort of sits down and he reaches over and he just sort of grabs Mulek's trouser leg. Like,
okay. And I'm just going to start working on removing those, whatever makes the noise.
okay. Yeah, a few minutes worth of work. You can prise the one or two of those little flaps open on each one and pull that out and then put them back into place.
And I show them to Pidlwick and say, I'm going to keep these safe so that I can, whenever you want to make noise and perform for us, I can easily make it so that you do it. But for now, I would like you to be quiet. But good job. Thank you very much.
And then he nods at you, and when he nods, he sort of seems startled because he nods and no sound happens. But then he just looks at you and just kind of stares at Mulek. And of course, he can't articulate his eyebrows or anything, so you don't know what kind of expression he's giving you.
I'm just going to hold out my hand to see if he'll hold it.
And he'll reach out and he'll take your hand.
And I'll look to Thaldor and Kren. Any other ideas? I think this is pretty good for now.
I think we learned a lot.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with that, not gonna lie.
Pidlwick is a good friend. Aren't you, Pidlwick?
And it's good that he
Pidlwick.
only seems to listen to you there.
And he nods. He nods to all three of you. And so in the evening, about dusk or so, Esmeralda will poke her head down into the courtyard and say, "The raven's here."
Oh,
So who all is going up?
I will head up. Of course.
Yeah, I think we're done. So I'm going to pick up Pidlwick and put him back in the bag of holding. So I'm going to put you in here to keep you safe for now.
He nods. Okay, so you get up and you talk to Martikov. Where was our. Whoops. Table of contents. Wizard of Wines. Davian Martikov stands there. He is a human with hair that was black, but he's probably 60 years old, so it's salt and pepper hair and beard now. And he's standing there and he's talking quietly with Rictavio as you all come up. And he's dressed in what looks like a farmer's clothing with some leather armor over it. And he looks at you all as you come up. And who all is up there? Is everybody up there?
I'm up
Neelix
there.
up there.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we probably would have left the room into the top
Okay.
anyway, so we probably would have met them up here.
So he says, there is definitely something happening in Vallaki. Tomorrow will be the festival of the sun. There's something happening over at the coffin maker's shop. What it is, I cannot tell, but some of my kinfolk who live in Vallaki full time, they have sensed a growing evil there throughout the day. I don't know what's going to happen, but I fear something will happen at the festival tomorrow.
Did I miss a night's rest? Was I gone? I thought it was the festival.
No, it's still just
I
evening.
thought the festival was in two more days.
Oh, 2 days. Okay, yeah. Okay, 2 days.
Okay.
So he says, yes, not tomorrow, but the day after. But there is a growing evil over in the coffin maker's shop. What it is, I don't rightly know, but some of my kinfolk plan to investigate tonight under cover of darkness.
See. Any other news?
No.
I will
I
make
am
introductions to anybody that's up there.
okay. So yeah, you introduce him.
Wait. So is this a bird that turns into a man, or a man that turns into a bird?
He looks at Krenraid and he says, well, I suppose it's both, depending on your perspective.
I just got the dog thing. Don't confuse me anymore with.
And then he looks at Dez with a question.
Des kind of looks back at him like, I don't know. I just met him.
Yes, well, I was telling Rictavio that I was hoping that he might help us recover the gems for the vineyard. And Rictavio says, if I survive the encounter with the vampire, I will be happy to help you. But this land and the curse on it, Strahd is responsible for that. Dealing with him is the most important thing that we must do. I only wish that Eudovius were here.
I too. I miss my old friend. Even though he could be a bit of a strange individual at the best of times. This seems weird coming from him.
And Davian looks at you and says, Eudovius, who is this?
He is.
Well, I guess you've talked to him, but I don't know whether you would have ever told him about Eudovius or not.
I thought he'd met Eudovius.
Did he? Is that what I put in your backstory? I don't recall whether I put that in the backstory or not. I'm somehow thinking that you had found the vineyard after
it was afterwards. Okay, sorry.
Okay, all right.
And he looks over at the Wizard of Wines and basically said he was the gentleman who brought me here to help clean the land, heal the land after the downfall of Strahd. And unfortunately, he had not met with the best of fate shortly after.
Oh, the wizard you had mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems that my youngest son remembered your tale. And when we fled the vineyard, he went scouting. And he only returned to Vallaki last night. He brought strange news that might be of interest to you, Desarius. Yes, there is a strange house. A house that was not there before. A house that you might say looks like a mansion. It is far to the north in Barovia. It is beyond the north shore of Lake Zarevich, up in the hills above the Svalek woods. You cannot see it from the lake, but if you follow one of the little streams up and can climb up its small waterfalls, you will come to a little valley where this house just appears to be sitting. It is something that was not there several years ago, the last time we scouted that area. And there is no road that leads to it. There is no other infrastructure. There are no barns. It's just a house that somehow seems to have appeared out of nowhere.
Interesting. Does this ring any bells to me out of character?
Anybody who wants to can make an Arcana check. Oh, yeah. Uncle Abinadam would have told tales, and both Mulek and Thaldor would have heard about that. You know that very powerful wizards are able to conjure a shelter out of thin air that takes the form of a mansion. And it is named for an ancient and powerful wizard. The incantation is called Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion.
It's a very powerful spell. And it pretty much creates a luxurious mansion out of thin air.
Did
And
I know
Davian,
did Eudovius ever have something like that?
Eudovius had access to very high level magic
Okay.
and very powerful spells, but you probably never saw him cast that.
No, I probably would remember something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe it's worth going and taking a look at in the near future.
Rictavio says, quite. I believe Eudovius does have access to that kind of powerful magic. It's one reason why I agreed to meet him here. I thought he might have the kind of power needed to deal with Strahd. So perhaps tomorrow, after we see to Ireena and see what lays in her pool, we can go head that direction. And then he turns to the abbot. He says, would that wizard's tower be along the way? And I was waiting for somebody to answer, and
Sorry.
No. Nobody else could answer. The abbot would have to answer, and the abbot says,
He's confused as hell right now. He thinks there's some really, really great construction worker that's able to build a house in like 20 seconds. He wants to meet him for that reason.
I look at the puzzled look on his face real quick, and I go, "No, it's finger waggling."
What?
Yeah, it's a very powerful finger waggling thing.
Powerful finger waggling can make a house?
Would I know what it looks like? It's not a house. Does it look like a tent, or does it look like something else?
No. It appears like a mansion.
Oh, so it appears like a mansion. Okay. No, yeah, it just magically make finger waggles a huge mansion.
Yeah.
I cast minor illusion, and from what I understand of it, I create a miniature version of it. See, just like this. I just create out of nothing.
Except you can stay in it.
And I'm not as powerful, so mine is really small.
That's tiny, though. You can't just walk. I can walk through. Hold on. I'm going to walk up with my fist for it. Yeah, I can touch it. But what?
Yeah, and of course, because it's an illusion, as soon as you touch it, it vanishes like a soap bubble.
You broke it.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, real. Like, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Can I pay you to get it back with more finger stuff?
Yes. Yeah, that was like at least 5 gold. And then I snapped my fingers and I create it again.
I'll give you 10 gold. I'm so sorry.
I don't take it. It was a joke. It was a joke, friend.
But I broke it. I touched it.
Oh, I just created it again. See?
What stuff, frick?
And Esmeralda says, yes, if we stop by the tower, we might be able to get some of my supplies. And Rictavio looks at Esmeralda and says, what? And she says, well, yes, when I came back here That's where I have set up. I thought that you might remember the tower one day and come there. Now that I have my own wagon, my own supplies, I thought we might meet up there at some point. But you never showed up. And
Someone's in trouble.
Rictavio nods. And he says, well, that is a long time ago. And frankly, I was trying to keep my ear to the ground to learn what had become of Eudovius. I probably would have eventually made my way there if I realized that Eudovius was not coming, or had already come, and perhaps was not around. But maybe, and he turns and looks at Des, maybe Eudovius is alive.
Only one way to find out.
Yes.
Would require a little bit of a trip.
Yes. Well, and then the abbot says to the abbot asks the Wereraven if he is heading back to Vallaki tonight. Wereraven says yes. And the abbot casts a bless spell on him. Says, there are many of Strahd's creatures out in the dark, and some of them have wings. Fly carefully, my friend. And he says, all right, I will. He does that thing where he sort of hunches over and he turns back into a raven. And then he jumps up on one of the crenellations and he looks at all of you and he goes, caw! And then he flies off into the night towards Vallaki.
Wait, do you guys remember when we were in that town and the guy was speaking to the birds above that carriage?
Rictavio says, yes, I was that guy.
Oh, hi.
And his kinfolk were those ravens.
Wait, so you can't just speak to any birds. It's the birds that could also be people and the people that could be birds, right? Have I got that right?
I do not speak the language of were-ravens. They can understand me because they have the intelligence of people and the speech and the language of people, although their mouths and beaks do not work to allow them to speak when they are in that form.
That's a shame.
They have
I was
to
hoping
take
I could
their-
speak to all sorts of birds.
Oh, you can speak to birds as much as you want. Whether they will understand you is another matter entirely.
That's no fun if we can't talk about stuff and understand each other.
And he looks over at Des. He says, I believe the druidic folk know some of the secrets of talking to animals. Perhaps
Yeah.
our friend here would be willing to teach you, if you have the patience for it.
His eyes are gleaming towards Des.
Des just chuckles. Says, well, we could give it a try. I'm sure Sangzor would make a great conversationalist for you.
That sounds great.
Oh my god. She's going to cast Speak with Animals on him.
Yes, the demon goat.
It's perfect.
Screw you. Screw your mother. Screw the horse your mother rode in on. Dishonor on your house. Dishonor on your...
On your
Okay.
goats, dishonor on your face.
All right. We have a few minutes. Let's try to hold it together here. Okay, what are the watches during the night? Who's going to take the first
Me and
watch? 'Cause-
Mulek. Me and
Okay.
Mulek taking the first one.
Primraid's
Okay.
already had a short rest, so I'll take the last one to kind of.
Okay. Yeah,
the second one.
and everybody would by the time the morning comes around, Falazure already has the benefits of a long rest at this point. Everybody else will through the night get the benefits of a long rest.
And I have my animals keeping watch, so it's kind of
Okay.
a loose watch even while Thal
Okay.
and I are doing the watch because I've got all these animals keeping their eyes and noses and ears open.
Okay.
And I'll do the middle shift.
All right. So everybody keeps watch with the animals, and the night passes more or less uneventfully. You do hear the sound off to the south. You hear the sound of wolves in the night, and a couple of times those are answered by the howls of wolves far to the east. But they, listening to those howls, they don't seem to like be moving or getting closer to you or anything. It sounds like the natural pattern of wolves calling to each other in the night, but it doesn't sound entirely naturally wolf-like.
Gotcha.
And other than that, the only other unusual thing that happens at night is Ireena. You lay down and you have a dream. And in your dream, you find yourself next to a little pond. And there's a beautiful gazebo there. And you're looking in the water, and the water is so clear and smooth, and it reflects the sunlight in the azure blue sky. And as you're there, you hear steps behind you, and it causes you to smile because you know who those steps belong to. And a man's hand gently rests on one of your shoulders, and you sort of lean into him, and you look up and you see a very handsome, dark-haired man who is only a couple of years older than you are. Instinctively, a name comes to your mind, and the name that goes with that face is Sergei. And he looks at you and he says, Tatiana, this place is so beautiful. Shall we settle here after we are married? I know that my brother has offered to allow us to live in the castle with him, but I feel like we would be in the way. He has all the burdens of the realm on his shoulders. We would just be in the way. We are not far from the castle here. Within a few hours we can go and visit him. What do you say? And he's just looking at Ireena, waiting for an answer.
Had to unmute my mic. She'll look up with a smile and seems so satisfied and happy. She'll kind of smile back and says, that's a wonderful idea. He'll be a part of your family, and we could have our own getaway place.
And he nods and he says, Yes, my love. And there's the sound of a violin, and a violin starts playing some beautiful music, and you look over there, and there's a a well-dressed country villager that has a violin, and next to him is a woman who has a flute, and she starts playing the flute, and they begin playing a like a waltz, and Sergei just takes you in his arms, and he begins dancing with you to the music. And as you dance, your dream just sort of fades, and you fall into a deep and restful sleep, and just a smile is on your face.
It's so sweet.
And then in the morning, the abbot gets everybody up about an hour before sunrise.
Ireena will
He
probably
says-
be already up, exercising and doing her daily workout.
And he says, the girl says that she would like to see the pool at dawn. I explained that in many parts of the multiverse, bodies of water hold special qualities at sunrise and sunset, even though we cannot see the sun through the clouds in this accursed realm. She chose sunrise as the time to go. And so he proposes that everybody trundle down the path and go to this pool with him. Is everybody going to go, or does anybody?
Yeah, I'm definitely for sure going.
I mean, I'll go too.
Yeah, Mulek is very curious and interested.
Oh,
Yeah, that's Comrade.
DM, did you ever figure out if I could gather some of the water to get it blessed?
Oh, yes, I did. And holy water comes in. Oh gosh, I've navigated away from that. What I was trying to look at to see the size of the flask, and I think it's like it's a pint, isn't it? It's like 16 ounces. Is the size of a flask of holy water.
Okay.
So yeah, he would be able to bless. He would be able to bless. I need a. Oh no, I don't. Yes, I do.
I just was thinking if we could bless enough for everybody to have at least a flask
he
on
would-
everybody.
Yeah, he would be able to bless 8 full pints of holy water at one time.
Awesome.
Okay.
That'll work.
And so you guys go down to the edge of the pond, and Ireena, as you are walking down the path, you can hear someone calling to you, and your dream from last night returns to you, and you realize the voice that you heard yesterday and the voice that you're hearing now belongs to Sergei.
She kind of gasps, trying not to make a really big deal out of it, but she'll kind of try and listen to it more closely now and kind of follow it. If she can pinpoint a direction where it's coming from.
The closer you get to the pond, it's coming from the waters of that pond. And he says, "It is," and the voice says, "It's been so long. Come, my love, let us be together at last."
Oh no.
She's the only one that can hear it, or we can all hear it?
No, she's the only one that can hear it.
They're kind of crouched down in the sand next to the pond. I'm guessing it's sandy oriented, or is it grass?
It's grassy up to the edge, and now as you all reach the pond, everybody can see the same thing. When it's like this real gray, dim light of dawn under a cloudy gray sky. But, there's enough light that's sort of seeping through that you can sort of see. And as you look in the water, all of you are a little bit amazed because the water has this deep cobalt blue color to it. Even under the gray clouds. And as Ireena approaches and looks into it, all of you can see an image in the sparkling blue waters of the pond. It's a handsome man of kind and noble visage, but he has sad eyes. And then as soon as he sees Ireena, his eyes brighten. And he stretches a hand out and he speaks. And all of you can hear the name that he speaks, which is Tatiana. And Ireena, you recognize this is indeed Sergei.
She'll turn to the rest of them and say, "Well, everyone, I guess time to meet Sergei." As she kind of smiles, but the first time that she actually has a giant smile on her face, that she feels relieved where she can relax. It's something not easy to explain. It's the feeling of you can just let go around somebody. She announces this is Strahd's brother, the husband to be, fiance to Tatiana.
And as some of you all are listening to Ireena and Rictavio and the Abbot and Esmeralda. They're listening to her, but they're watching the water. And anybody else that's watching the water will see this figure rise up towards the surface of the water, and then indeed it begins to break the surface of the water, and it stretches a hand out towards Ireena, and it says, "My beloved, in life you were a princess, and a woman of faith. We were to be married long ago. This blessed pool has called your spirit to me." And the Abbot looks at Ireena, and he just smiles, and he says, "I sense no evil here, child."
Ireena will kind of smile and then look at him and say, "But the real question is, do you know the real reason?"
Do I know the real reason?
The real reason why we're here.
No, but perhaps this is, perhaps at this time of day, this is a portal to take you to a different place where you can be with your beloved and be away from the clutches of the vampire.
Can I do an insight check?
Sure. Insight on whom?
Ireena
surrogate.
will also do an inside check too.
Okay, you want to insight the whatever it is that's in the pond?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my! I'm using my inspiration for this, please.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
Go for it. Fucking get it.
No.
Okay, Faldor, there you get a sense of a person there, and this person just is deeply in love with Ireena. Mulek, the same. Ireena, you're convinced that this is Sergei. And the abbot just kind of just sort of folds his hands at his waist, or at his, just lets them hang down in front of him and folds his hands together.
Like, this is where it's complicated, because it's a point of, like, if her dream is telling the truth, she knows the real reason why he's connected here. But if he doesn't know the reason why he's here, is it really him?
Okay. So the abbot seems to, the body language of the abbot would seem to indicate that he thinks this is something safe for Ireena. Because he's not trying to pull her away from the water, or not, trying to do anything to hinder the person that is rising up out of the lake.
Okay. And with that information, then Ireena would probably try to take the hand of the form of Sergei that is happening.
Okay, so Ireena reaches out her hand towards this person that has arisen from the lake. And the rest of you are all standing around watching this.
Well, is there anything Mulek can do to determine whether something evil is going on? I mean, I'm not.
Your insight tells you that this is someone who is deeply in love with Ireena, and it's a healthy, wholesome kind of love. It's not a dominating and possessing kind of love. It's sort of a nurturing and cherishing kind of love.
Ireena, are you? What is your intention? Are you just giving up your? I mean, you are alive right now. Are you just going?
And the figure turns towards Mulek and says, She can come with me, and we can live together, away from my brother.
Well, where are you going?
That's a
It is a
fair question.
It is a realm where creatures like my brother cannot reach.
Okay, well, let's say theoretically you wanted to go ahead and get married, and we wanted to attend because we're Ireena's friends. How would we get to you?
And he looks at Krenraid and he says, do you have a beloved that worshipped Lathander and found favor, then without the intervention of one of Lathander's faithful, I don't know how you would come to reach us.
And can Ireena leave?
Is it possible? Is it really possible to get back together with one who has passed on?
All things are possible in the love of the Morning Lord. And he will stand there keeping his arm outstretched, but he does not try to reach for and grab Ireena. He just has his hand out to accept Ireena's hand if she takes it.
Well, who am I to judge? Right, love this person, love someone else. If this is what Ireena wants, then she should go ahead and have fun.
You guys can go ahead and do a religion check or something like that if you want to.
There's no way Cremray would know this. He doesn't even know his own gods.
Yeah.
Ireena will turn to the old man and say, "How about you,
I'm
old
using
man?"
inspiration on that.
I haven't rolled
Okay.
over a 10 all night.
I know.
Goodness.
Clueless.
On that nat one, I'm re-rolling. Hold on.
The
And
only god I know is
inspiration.
Farmacool. I don't know any others.
That's a little better.
Rictavio says, "Child, this valley was consecrated by those loyal to, or those who followed Lathander long before Strahd von Zarevich came. It could be that this pool is indeed a place that is very holy. I sense no evil from this entity, the one you call Sergei. And the stories say it was indeed Sergei that you were destined to marry. Perhaps Lathander is allowing him to bring you to him."
I kind of look at Octavio and says, "That's not what I was asking." Oh man, you think way too hard into these things. Do
Then
I
I'm
have
sorry.
your blessing?
Oh, child, of course you have my blessing. I only want to see you escape the clutches of Strahd permanently, so that he can never have you. And that your lifetimes of repeated torment
Comes to the end.
you can
So-
escape that and have lifetimes of joy instead.
She'll look over at Sergei and say, "Many times you've surprised me and swept me over my feet. Almost with the house we were going to buy near this lake and the flutes and everyone cheering us on and the dance. Can't forget about the dance." And she'll kind of chuckle as she'll kind of dance to herself for a moment before she sweeps her arms out and almost goes to reach for him and says, "It was a pleasure meeting you all." And she kind of gives a soft bow to them and say, "It really was nice. But the heart says what the heart says, right?"
I'm right.
Can't argue with that.
And you could always send us a message. We could always find a way to get in there. Or you can come see us. I don't see why not.
And as go ahead.
Let's just say, if I could be with my loved one, I would do it in a heartbeat.
So would I.
And as the two figures touch, you can see the full flush of color come into Sergei, and Ireena, you feel the warmth of his hand, and you two embrace, and almost instantaneously from Ireena's point of view, she finds herself standing on the side of a lake in the most beautiful celestial area she has ever seen. There are blue skies with white puffy clouds, butterflies around. There's another gazebo. There are musicians playing some very happy music. The rest of you on the shore see, as Sergei and Ireena embrace, you see them slowly slip down into the water, and their forms seem to gradually fade and fade and fade until there is nothing left to see. And at that instant, a peal of thunder shakes the land, and the clouds above the village darken and coalesce into a terrible visage of a face. And a deep, dark voice from beyond the mountains cries out, "She's mine!"
Not
And
anymore, she's not!
A terrible crack resounds as lightning splits the sky and strikes the pool.
Oh shit, run.
And that's where our session is going to end for the night. So,
Wow.
all right, so we will start next week with you guys at the edge of the pool dealing with whatever this is. And we will see what happens after that. So
Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, everybody. You guys done good. Ivy, thank you so much for inhabiting Ireena for us.
Yay.
And letting us
Thank you, Ivy.
see that. We will talk during the week to see if Ivy is coming back next week and what character she will be playing. I had a thought that this session was going to move along a lot faster than it actually did. So I thought we were going to get to something else after the break. No, that's all right. That's all right. As long as you guys are having fun, that's great. I can go at whatever pace you all want to go. So we will be back here next time for session 45. Before we go, I would like to let Paul and Michael talk a little bit. Since we ran a little bit over, Paul, I know you've got to go to work, so I'll let you start. What is anything coming up on your social media outlets and platforms that you want people to know about between now and next Wednesday?
Over on the Action Sturge, we've got a Strixhaven-based D&D game in the works. So at the Action Sturge on Twitch, there should be some announcements on their Twitter, their Instagram, and their various other platforms as well. I may be partaking in that myself, but even if I don't, I've seen the work that they're putting into it, and I've helped a bit where I could. Really great stuff. I'm looking forward to that, even if I'm not in it. I'm sure I'm going to watch it. That's Wednesdays at 8 p.m. CST, typically is when their time is. So just keep an eye out for that. And other than that, come back, see Gallibond on Sunday. That's freaking great. I was almost crying at that water scene, so you know where to go.
All right. And thank you so much. And Michael, what's happening over on the Doors of Fear channel between now and next Thursday?
Tomorrow, of course, I have my Dragon Heist Waterdeep campaign that's ongoing right now. The group just acquired Troll Skull Manor, so now they have their manor house and tavern. So we're about to go from there and hopefully start the deep grind to find the horde of dragons. So it's great.
Wonderful. Okay. And any of the other players, do you have anything else coming up between now and next Wednesday that you want, or now and next Thursday that you want the viewers to know about? Okay, if not, well, then I can let you know that this coming Saturday at 7:30, we will be back for a second edition D&D game. We are starting a dungeon crawl of going through the classic Temple of Elemental Evil using D&D second edition rules. So it's one of those seminal adventures that just has been derivative of a lot of things throughout the years and throughout the different editions of D&D. So that should be a lot of fun. We are taking a break from the Sunday game this week because I have a live sporting event to go attend. So I will be at Sports Ball on Sunday, at Tailgate and the game. And then on Monday, we'll be back with Monster Monday. We had a cool thing on the Chimera this last Monday. I haven't decided exactly what we're going to be doing this coming Monday yet. I have to figure that out tomorrow and write that all up. And we will then be back next Thursday, 8 p.m. for another edition of the Sword Coast Chronicles. All right, everyone. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I'm going to put us over on the slate, and I'm going to go see if there's somebody from the Game Rebel group that is doing something right now. Let us see. Okay, Southern Belle. Oh, First Class Trouble. Okay, so Southern Belle is playing First Class Trouble, so we're going to go ahead and raid that. All right, everybody take care. Have a great week, and we will talk to you next Thursday, if not before.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone. Okay, now, come on. Okay, there we go. Read now. Good night, everybody.
Paul,
All right.
what part of Sunday made you cry?
No,